Hey everyone, LittleMoeGaming here. What's going on? It has been a while since I've posted or made any videos. Took a little break. I've been pretty busy, just in my personal life and with work. Had a big change in work recently. They had me move to another location that is a little commute away from where I live. So I've just been getting adapted to that or adjusted to that change and getting used to the schedule change that came with that as well. Um, and yeah, so I haven't really had much time, but I want to definitely get back into it. I miss making these videos and just sitting here talking about video games for a bit. Since my last post, when I was on vacation in Houston, I was talking about the PlayStation State of Play from the Summer Game Fest, and my intention was to make a little bit of a longer video where I just kind of go in depth on what was shown during the Summer Game Fest, because after that we had the Summer Game Fest show, we had the Xbox Showcase, and there were really, really great games that were shown. I just didn't have a chance to do that, and I think at this point it's a little too late for it. So, but, just there are definitely some things that were shown that I'd like to talk about. Um, and I'm definitely going to talk about those in this video. I'm also going to be talking about Death Stranding 2. Happy Death Stranding 2 Day. It's officially out today. Very excited. I went ahead and picked it up this morning. This new location I work at in Pueblo, Colorado. There's a Walmart right down the road from me. So I went over to them early in the morning and picked up my copy. Got it waiting for me in the car. Definitely plan on playing some tonight. Very, very excited to jump into Death Stranding 2. Reviews have been great. Everybody says it's been awesome and that it's a great new entry with a lot of changes and also a lot of the same stuff. So, I was a big fan of the first game. I put well over 100 hours into it, just maxing out, my deliveries. Excuse me. Oh, maxing out my deliveries, which I don't really remember how that went. I think you had to get it was a 5-star system with each location, and you do a bunch of deliveries for them, and you eventually hit 5 stars, and that was essentially getting 100% in the game, and I just had such a great time with that game. I wanted to do everything and finish it. I never played the director's cut, although I do own it. I got the director's cut, and I think it's available on PS Plus anyways. A few weeks ago, I actually downloaded it and I wanted to play. But then I thought about it and I was like, Death Stranding 2 is around the corner. I think if I just give myself a recap on the story, I will be okay. I mean, it's a long game. Like, even if you just play the story, which was my intention, it's at least 40 or 45 hours. And, it's a lot going on. And I have just a bunch of other games, so since then, I've gotten back into Kingdom Come Deliverance, which I'll be showing some footage of here today. As well, I've gotten into Mortal Kombat 1. I'll show some footage of that as well. So, my thought was, I played Death Stranding. I had a great time with it. Let's wait for the new one to come out and really enjoy that one and not get burnt out on that. So, I ended up deleting it. But yeah, so Death Stranding 2 is out. Definitely excited for that, and I'll probably make a video one day dedicated to Death Stranding and talking about my experience with the first game and how my mindset leading up to it, because it's definitely a unique game, and the first game had a really, really crazy release process, and it was just such a big deal, especially for me. I was a huge fan, and it's a really important game for me. So I'll make a video talking specifically about that. But for now, I did pick up my copy, and I will definitely dive into that tonight. On to the second part of this video, and what I want to talk about is just a brief overview of Summer Game Fest. So there were a lot of great games shown. I already made a video talking about the state of play. Xbox Showcase showed a lot of great games. I honestly don't remember off the top of my head everything, but there was a lot of good stuff shown. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about was the Xbox Handheld. I think that's I made a video, one of my earlier Little Mo Gaming at Lunch videos. I talked about the potential for an Xbox handheld and what my hopes and dreams would be for that handheld. And one of the things I mentioned in that video was that if we were to see something from Xbox, I would want to see I would want to see like a dedicated handheld with the Xbox label on there, some sort of an Xbox design, maybe like some green lights, the X, something involved with the design and whatnot. And I guess you could say we kind of got that, but we kind of didn't. So supposedly Xbox was working on a first party, proprietary handheld, and that got canceled. So they opted in for this Xbox ROG Ally combo. And the ROG Ally already existed beforehand. It's this PC handheld akin to the Steam Deck, kind of like a Steam Deck competitor. I've seen it in action. I've seen people using it. I've never actually like held one myself, but I've seen people use it. And I've always thought that it looks really cool. And so now this Xbox branded ROG Ally is essentially an ROG Ally, but with Xbox branding on it. So kind of like what I said in the video, right? Like it's got that Xbox logo. It's dedicated to be used as an Xbox handheld. However, it does have access to Steam and GOG and all these other portals that you can use for PC gaming. So it really is just a PC gaming handheld, but with the Xbox logo on it. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, at the end of the day, these handhelds, like, they've been talking about the specs of it. I don't think the specs are anything too impressive. It can definitely play modern games, but it's not going to give you the same experience as playing it on, say, like a PS5 Pro, or an Xbox Series X, or on like a high-end gaming PC. And Nintendo Switch 2 aside, I mean, that's a Nintendo console. It's its own thing. I think, something like this Xbox Rogue Ally, it's something for, like a player who wants access to those PC games and those Xbox exclusives, like Xbox games and the Xbox platform, but in the palm of their hand. And it's not a console where you're going to be able to play a game like, say, Death Stranding 2, or Cyberpunk 2077, or even like The Witcher 4. You're not going to be able to play that kind of a game and get the most fidelity out of it, like the best graphics or the best performance, but you'll be able to play a lot of games on there with pretty high performance and pretty good graphics. I mean, I like to imagine, the whole PS4, Xbox One era of games will probably play really well on this console. So, to be able to have access to that generation, right? Like maybe playing a game like The Witcher 3 on this handheld, it'll be really, really good. And it's the best way to experience it in a handheld way. I'm just kind of throwing out my personal thoughts on it. It's really cool. I don't own a Steam Deck myself, so I know even with the Steam Deck, you don't really get the best performance on modern games there. But it's a great way to be able to experience, playing PC games in the palm of your hand. So for example, like I used to be a PC gamer and I have a pretty huge Steam library, right? Like I have a lot of games on Steam, and not having a PC, having a handheld like this would give me a way to access that Steam library. So if I have a game in my Steam library, like for example, Fallout New Vegas, right? I own it on Steam. I have it natively there. I just don't have a way to play it right now because I don't have a PC. And I don't want to play it on my PlayStation as a stream, right? So having something like the Xbox Rogue Ally, it would be a cool way to have access to those Steam games, to that library that I own, and be able to play them on, like a piece of hardware that is both handheld and powerful enough to give me a great experience. So yeah, it's definitely a cool thing. Not something that I personally am looking for at the moment. I think I've got my hands full with, Nintendo Switch, my PlayStation. With the limited time that I have to even game, I think I have my hands full already. it would be cool to have this. It's definitely like a cool novelty thing that I would love to own, one day. And I probably would invest in something like this at some point. But right now, I'm interested to see what PlayStation has up their sleeve, because there's a lot of rumors that PlayStation is working on a handheld as well. Whether they're going to be doing like a first party thing, kind of like the PSP or the PS Vita, or are they going to do a PC handheld, like combo, kind of like what Xbox did? It's too soon to tell. So definitely looking forward to seeing what happens in the next couple years in regards to a PlayStation handheld and what that would be capable of. Um, and then once that is out in the, and released, in the wild, then one can make a decision. Do you go with the Xbox handheld? Do you go with the PlayStation handheld? Are they both going to be able to do the same thing? Because you also got to keep in mind, right? Xbox exclusivity is just not a thing anymore. One of the coolest things about the Summer Game Fest showcase with Xbox is the fact that most of the games they showed off are going to be available on PlayStation 5. There was only like a couple games they showed that were not coming to PS5, but most of the games they showed are. And we're getting games like Gears of War onto PlayStation. Rumor has it that we're going to get Halo on PlayStation. We've already seen Forza come to PlayStation. Starfield is definitely going to get like some sort of a, like Master Edition or like, like definitive edition released on PlayStation at some point. So the exclusivity to Xbox is just not a thing anymore, So maybe, like maybe for someone like me who is so deep into the PlayStation, the PlayStation library and the PlayStation, like, I forgot the word. Anyways, you understand what I'm saying. Maybe a PlayStation handheld would make more sense for someone like me than the Xbox handheld, but of course, only time will tell. I'm definitely a fan of the handheld thing. Like, I love my Nintendo Switch. I definitely plan on getting a Nintendo Switch 2 at some point. Simply just for the library of games that are available on there. But then, of course, getting something like a PlayStation handheld or an Xbox handheld would be cool, because it's a way to have access to my Steam library, and I don't know, would a PlayStation handheld have access to Steam as well, like the Xbox one? That's really what I'm interested to see. So, anyways, guys, this is LittleMoeGaming at lunch, and I just wanted to have a short little video here today. And as always, take care.